Well, I'm going to be reapplying for monetization on YouTube, and reapplied before, I think sometime in early October, and they sunk it. They said no, you can't get monetization because there's content on your channel that's still deemed to be hate or whatever that is. So I do know that it more than likely that's not the medical stuff, it's not the herbal things, it's not any of that stuff. It's the Confederate stuff, it's the Southern stuff. And I'll just sum up exactly why they're so against that, even in general, like the money powers. The South refused to submit to the money powers, and they tried to break away and be independent. It was the reason for the invasion of the South was over the tariff money, and of course, you know, they would have lost control of the Mississippi, and the South would have set up a free trade zone. Well, in other words, it's total financial domination and ownership. So if you don't submit to them, they'll, you know, pull your money also on YouTube. So enable. I'm going to hit enable. So, oh, I got to go freaking on my other. This is an XP computer. I got to do it on another computer. So I'm going to enable it anyway. But before I enable it, I want to actually tell you that yes, I am 110% aware of some. You know, I'm pro-Israel, pro-Jewish, pro-Zionist, but I'm also very much aware of a certain clique of owners, elitists, that have a concept of world domination for the rest of us who are not, you know, of the anointed people. And, you know, it's basically a hybrid of communism and capitalism put together. So this is an article I'm going to put out here right now, and you're going to see if my channel gets deleted off of YouTube. I'm going to take an entirely different approach. I'll be on Minds and BitChute, Minds, M-I-N-D-S, and BitChute, and other platforms, and I will be exposing the global domination by a certain clique. Do not misconstrue this as the average Jewish person, because the average Jewish person has as much in common with these certain elitists as the average Italian has with Mario Cuomo and Nancy Pelosi. I'll tell you, they're pretty much diametrically opposed. The average people are diametrically opposed to a lot of this crap that's going on. But this is interesting. You know what's happening in Virginia with Governor Ralph Northam, you know, the tool of Bloomberg. Israeli unmanned systems, naval and aviation's defense delegation revisioning Virginia. This has to do with the Patriots, right? Now, if you look on Facebook, there's a woman that posted all the steel barricades they're putting up to, focus people into place, and also they had, you know, the Soros-funded Antifa putting up the barricades too. I want to actually focus in on some more of this stuff that will not be allowed on YouTube, but I'll be doing, PayPal, $2, whatever the hell you want for that kind of information, because I have a clear head on what's going on. I've never divulged what's going on fully, nowhere near, on YouTube, because I didn't want to be demonetized. But since they're freaking playing, they want to own me completely. Go to hell. I'm not cooperating at all. So I expect that since I didn't adjust my channel, they're gonna they might look at it and say to hell with it. You know, even though I got 7,000 videos, which 90% of the videos have nothing to do with Confederate, pro-South, or anything political in the least. So, but they'll still probably pull it. You never know what they'll do, because it's the Anti-Defamation League, which is totally a misnomer. I know they do some good things, but they're basically the total control, domination of the World League. But Israeli companies can provide Homeland Security, law enforcement, SWAT, critical information protection. So in other words, the global domination, and it's not Jewish people, but there's a certain clique of them, and it's just like, and I can tell you this, you can have a Muslim, a Catholic, a Jewish person, when it comes to of a certain type, of a certain mentality, they can all cooperate and agree on the money and power aspect if they have a deal working for all their own self-interest, which I can tell you that the ADL will throw average Jewish people under the bus sacrifice them so they could stay in business, being, protecting against anti-Semitism, because without anti-Semitism, the ADL's out of business. That's part of the racket, but it really is. There is a global domination theme going here. It's actually against the Torah, 110%. And a lot of rabbis will tell you that, so I'm not coming at it from this angle of, I don't like saying this too much because there's a lot of idiots out there. If I say one thing critical of Israel or anything aspect of anybody who's Jewish, the people jump on it and they throw gas on a fire and they take it in a whole nother direction. But if they keep up with this ADL judgment against me of saying that I cannot be monetized because I put pro-South videos out, and they'll say it's hateful, well, forget it. I'm not doing it. I'm not cooperating at all. I'm not going to freaking play their game. And yeah, I did put up a little website, confederateHeritage.tripod.com. It doesn't have, it's a cheapy, freebie. I don't have FTP access. I'm not a website developer, but I could do a lot better than this with FTP access, even though I'm a real amateur, and I hardly ever done anything with this stuff. But I put up here the truth about Captain Wirtz in Andersonville. Just put this together. This was the speech by Dr. Albert Winkler. This is an example of, this is an extreme example of how, like the New York Times and everybody out in New York, they still smear the hell out of Captain Wirtz. He was basically sacked. They wanted Wirtz to implicate Jefferson Davis so they could hang Jefferson Davis with war crimes. He wouldn't do it. They were totally innocent. This article goes over this. When we're dealing with highly educated people out of New York, I can tell you they're very, very, very smart, very aggressive, on the ball. It's not a matter of just getting the truth out. They don't care about the truth. What they're looking at is they have a money angle that they're protecting. And one of the reasons they have to keep up with the lie that the North invaded the South to free the slaves is that that's protecting their money rackets, because the reality is when that centralized authority took over all the United States, we all became slaves in a way, and they basically used the black people as pawns. Now, this is what's going on today, even in New York right now. It's the same kind of garbage. It's not necessarily related to any kind of religion or anything like that. I also have a link on here for pro-Confederate articles. It's not really highly advanced or anything, but if you click on one of them, you can talk about, you click this on and it opens up into a PDF, Yankee Union League terrorists during the Reconstruction, and it'll tell you about how many evil things they did to the South. I mean, it's like, it's amazing that this history is hidden, and the ADL doesn't give a crap about this at all. They don't care about defaming the South. They're looking for 100% submission, obedience. Now, I'll play their game a little bit, because, if they're paying me, but this is not, and it's like I wasn't really concentrating on this stuff really anyway. When I got on YouTube, it was mainly how to teach people how to do things hands-on and the health aspect. I never really liked putting out too much on the political side, and the pro-Confederate articles, the pro-South aspect, is not political. It's truth. It's not a Democrat or Republican thing. It's not political. It's the money powers of today have hidden history, and ADL doesn't give a crap about us at all. They don't care. I know as somebody being very much attuned, I've always worked for Jewish guys pretty much. I can only work for a Jewish guy. I am pro-Jewish, but there's a limit to, it's like I could say I'm pro-Italian, but I'm not pro-Nancy Pelosi or Mario Cuomo. No way in hell. And see, when I'm attacking a certain element of people that might label themselves as Jews, it's a certain particular type. Exactly, you know what I'm getting at? In other words, I don't attack Italians, but I will attack Nancy Pelosi and Mario Cuomo. So if you're getting my drift about this. But in the future, I will be putting out some more, and not on YouTube. It'll be on Minds and BitChute. If you want to pay me a couple bucks for the research, I personally don't think that's going to do you a lot of good, but I'm going to give you a level-headed approach to what's going on, because I don't listen to these stupid shill channels on YouTube that are, the drama videos and stuff. I do not listen to them. There's so many people out there that have been pushing this doom and gloom forever. I know there's an aspect that we're so far in debt that, it's going to blow up on their face one of these days unexpectedly, or they probably have a good idea when it's going to happen. And there is going to be an economic collapse. I know that because we're so far in debt. That alone is going to do it. But I also commented on Friends of David Goldberg. I'm going to tell you, I think the guy, I honestly, I'm glad some people chimed in. I think this guy is him himself, the guy, the presenter, is not a shill, but he's got presented bullcrap. It's almost like the Lindsey Williams phenomena. He throws in some stuff that's accurate, but he's just a messenger. The messenger is being used. But I could tell you the stuff with Friends of David Goldberg, I could tell you some of that stuff is accurate. The economic collapse, the exodus of people trying to get the hell out of America, probably people that are actually not from this country, in the first place. They got here to get on the gravy train. And also, the stuff about possible contrived electrical outages, food shortages, a grid takedown, what the hell else did he say? Also, yeah, about drones, underground bases. I don't think it's going to be, well, they're going to probably take out some people that are key people with drones and put them in underground bases and torture them. Yeah, probably. As far as 9 to 15 million patriots, I doubt it. One thing he does bring up, though, that I could tell you that right off the top of my head is accurate as all hell. The elite want to control things. They do not want a Mad Max situation. They want a controlled chaos whereby they can come in and keep the rules going. So if you really get, you remember, I'll give you an example. The British with the Tea Party, the British Tea Party thing when they threw the tea over into the Boston Harbor. Well, that was not the fact. It wasn't the fact. It wasn't exactly about the taxes. It was depriving. When they threw that tea overboard, it totally deprived the government, the British government, from even collecting the taxes on the tea from anybody. Actually the colonies, where the colonists, a lot of them were against that in the beginning because it was destruction of private property. Friends of David Goldberg says, don't attack the 5G, don't do this because I didn't tell you to do that, but it's probably going to happen. You know what I mean? It's what they really, he does drop a hint. The elite are fearful of a total Mad Max situation where they got no control. This is why you never submit to the government. I've absolutely, as sometimes as people, cops and law enforcement and military could be good, but as a group, forget it. They're loyal to as a group. If you can't get the people that are loyal to the throne or the powers, they'll get rid of you and they'll get somebody else in there that can influence other people, and they'll do it with, well, we got to obey orders. The public's got to freaking fix this. It's not our job to make decisions, public policy decisions. We got to obey orders from our commanders. These guys are just jackass order followers. That's why I tell you honestly, when I saw 9/11 happen, I didn't give a crap about any of those suits up there with the freaking phony hot windbag garbage. I'm very much aware of these type of people. Miss Push in the office falling off the freaking thing. I didn't care about them. That was the globalist World Trade Center. Global financial domination. Yeah, I know it didn't get taken out by the bullcrap story they said it was done by. I know that. I knew that from day one. But I looked at it and I said, so what? And then I said, oh, I feel sorry for the cops and stuff. I said, I actually didn't. I didn't. New York cops are some of the worst bastards in the world. They could be good at it as a person, but they'll set you up. Just, I don't know. It depends. Depends on a person. But as far as the order follower concept, go to hell. This is one reason I like this Southern stuff, because this is one time the military, quote unquote, was fighting for their homes, their lands, trying to keep their women from getting raped by gangs of freaking immigrants they put in a blue uniform to go down there and kill Americans. And of course, YouTube and Google and New York Times and everything else, Alphabet Inc., the whole 9 yards, and CBS, NBC, including Fox, the whole 9 yards. They don't want you to know the truth about this because they want you to be, content little slaves. And of course, the whole game is they use the black people as their pawn to, get them all riled up. If you look on Google right now, you look at, slavery in the South. You'll pull up a picture of a black guy with a freaking 50 million whip marks on his back. And I was actually wondering where the hell this picture came from, because I don't even know if it was from an American. But you know what? That definitely wasn't a freaking situation that was going on. Definitely not. There was actually an amiable contract. The South was busting rules left and right. It was already falling apart. People were like, you're supposed to need a pass to get off the plantation. They were blowing off all these rules left and right, man. The freaking North was way more prejudiced against blacks than the South, and especially the money people. They use you like chumps. So, I don't know, sometimes maybe I got gigged by some black people looking at a Confederate video and thinking it was hateful, and I'm like, I'm not telling you that freaking garbage, you don't get it, man, you don't get it. But I'll be reapplying for this, but this might be the end of my channel, and I'm just saying that the ADL is not about, it's about protecting, it's not about protecting the Jewish people in general. And, they do in sometimes, but the real meat, inner core, is to actually protect the global domination agenda of the upper crust of what you want to call them, quote unquote, Jews on the top. They're not the average guys. They're not the majority. And I could say I'm fine with pro-Israel. I'm fine with pro-Zionism. I'm fine with pro-Judaism. I'm fine with, not having any kind of Christians trying to convert Jews over to Christianity. I'm fine with that. I lean way more Jewish. But that's not good enough for the freaking ADL. And I'm like, screw you jackasses, man. So you're going to see some other stuff. I'm going to probably put out stuff how, technology that was given to Israel has always been given, resold to like China, Pakistan, and Russia. And, they're trying to get the Goyim to kill each other, which in the process, if they ever do that, they're going to sacrifice Jews in this country, in the major metropolitan areas, as sacrificial lambs, because they want, they did that even in World War II. The upper crust jackasses in a Jewish community, they did that same thing in World War II. They freaking sacrificed Jews just so they can get more people over to Israel and get Israel established. There was a lot of Jewish people in Germany who didn't want to bother with this crap. And it's, I'm going to put other stuff out, because I tell you, this Hitler guy, even these morons that like Hitler, I want to tell you right now, that guy was anti-white. You got these jackasses on the top. You can't see. Most of them were short. They got dark hair and brown eyes, and they're telling you want tall blonde people with blue eyes. I'm like, what the hell is this crap? You can look at it at the surface right there, and you can see they just created a war to kill off a bunch of blonde-haired, blue-eyed, tall people between Finland, Russia, Germany, and England. That's what this little freaking mustache piece of crap did. So, you people do not think all the way through what the scam is. And I'm going to tell you, honestly, more than very likely, my third great-grandfather was Lionel Nathan Rothschild. I suspect it highly, because why the hell is it that I can't work for a Goyim? I was thinking for a while, I was good, but I was working for Susan, but, Susan Wojcinski. But I can tell you right now, she is not in the caliber of the type of Jewish guys I worked for. The Jewish guys I worked for were more like Sam Zell. More pro-American. They didn't have the viewpoints of Susan. Susan's a whack job, man. She is. She's a freaking total whack job. So I don't know if this thing's going to survive that long. I'm not going to put out videos like what I'm doing right now. This particular video, I'm going to put out some other videos. But, when I request monetization again, they might pull the whole channel. I don't really give a shit, though, to tell you the truth. Screw them. So I'll only be on BitChute and Minds or whatever the hell it is. And even now, I'm so pissed off that I'm not going to do accounting. I'm going to just keep doing this. I'm going to be concentrated on getting more of this freaking pro-South stuff up. Took me a freaking million years to freaking transcribe this speech from Dr. Albert Winkler, man. You could talk about a travesty of justice. And, and you look at, Andersonville, in a major media, they keep lying about this guy. And they're smart enough to know that this was a set-up trial. They're smart enough to know. But the game is keep all the power and the central authority out of New York City, mainly. That's their game. They don't care about the truth, man. They want to silence anybody with the truth. You can talk truth all you want. And, this deal with Virginia, what I was pointing out here, I'm telling you, man, that could be a whole freaking setup to the max. It looks like it. Yeah, you got your little pop guns and crap like that, and or even if you don't have a gun, you're just talking, whatever it is. They got your drones on you, you're just tapping into your cell phones, and of course, all the obedient law enforcement asswipes who are probably going to get freaking thrown under the freaking tracks later on after they're used up. In other words, after the United States falls to a global authority, any of these law enforcement out of Virginia, federal, whatever the hell they are, they ain't getting shit. They're stupid. You know why they're stupid? Because Henry Kissinger says they're stupid. He calls them dumb animals. That's what he says in the, allegedly. But I guarantee you, I know the attitude because I work for the devils. I am a devil. I am a devil. So I'm in a position to tell you a lot more stuff. But if I'm not on, if I'm not on YouTube at all, I'm not going to pull any punches on the other channels. Nope, not in the least. Nah, I don't care. But so we'll see what happens. If they pay me my money, okay, I'll avoid the subjects. Don't pay me my money. And you know what? I even wonder what the hell the monetization is going to be. They knocked my views down. Like, in other words, I was pulling in. My subscribers are down to way less than 10% of what they used to be. My views are down about, I think, less than 20. They're about 20% of what they used to be. And so even if they monetize it, it's going to be like puny amount of money, So I don't know. I don't really give a shit. So they're figuring out ways to make enemies where they had friends, and that's one of the pitfalls of being an egotistical jackass in Tech Valley or New York City, because making an enemy of me is probably the worst thing you're gonna freaking ever do. And I can tell you, when I get pissed off, you're freaking done. As a matter of fact, I even tell you about these pro-South organizations, the SCV, the MOSB, whatever. They got yo-yos in there too, but they haven't pissed me off enough. But they don't want to piss me off. There's people in there where they gotta have a lot of medals and walk around. I got Confederate heritage, but I didn't do none of that stuff. My ancestors did it. I didn't do it. Even if my daddy was my father, if it was one generation back, I didn't do it. They did it. I ain't taking credit or freaking for anything they did. I mean, it's like, I know they did the right thing, I'm saying is, but I'm not taking credit for it. So, I mean, some of these people in these organizations think they're generals or some crap, and I'm like, freaking people can't do nothing. We're going to play, that's another pet peeve, I might put that in an article, We're going to play like we're freaking commanders in camps and stuff. We're going to go out there to get an LZ, hump out there with the water, the tents, the MREs, through the sand or the mud or whatever the hell it is, 5-10 miles, set up a bivouac, and we'll have a meeting. We're not going to freaking have it in a luxury hotel by the golf course with the, all the condiments and whatever the hell else you freaking do, because, that's something else. I'm hardcore, man. I don't freaking play games. So anyway, I'll be trying this out. We'll see what happens. It might be bye-bye time for me, so I don't give a shit, though, to tell you the truth. And if it is bye-bye time, they're going to piss me off so much. I'm going to have a wonderful time, because I know a lot of stuff going all the way back many generations or many decades, because I knew about all this crap that people think is brand new information. They're telling me, oh, educate yourself, do the research. You know what? I knew this crap way before the internet was around. They used to have a thing called paper. You read it, it works as a hard drive and a monitor all in one, and you read things. I knew about this stuff decades ago. I'm not exactly young. The thing is, I'm young biologically. I might be 65, but I'm young biologically. I'm probably about 35. biologically. So anyway, that's good to go. And so we'll see what happens. I already know but you know what? With all you guys in the YouTube, when you're trying to get remonetized again, screw this place, man. Screw them. They don't pay you the money. Screw them. If they're going to pay it, or they're going to pay a real chump change, they got to start getting my freaking views back up and my subs. And I'm like, you want to piss me off? I'm going to make it cost you more money than it's going to cost me. I was thinking about sending them a bill, but I think that's almost ludicrous. Somebody told me to do that. But I don't know. I might send a bill to the ADL. That's what I'm thinking of doing. I'm thinking sending a bill to the ADL themselves. I don't want to argue with those jackasses. Instead of sending it to Susan and YouTube, I'm going to send it to ADL right here in Florida. I'm going to say, what the hell's the matter with you guys? You give a crap about anybody or not? I'm telling the truth about all these horrible things that happened to the South and how they've been disparaged and freaking smeared and wiped out off the face of the earth practically. And you are telling me it's hate? You freaking morons. What the hell is this? Well, you know what I'm also picking up? It's they just want total control. They're not stupid. What it is the South tried to be independent, In other words, everybody stands on their own 2 feet. The Southern Constitution, this Confederate Constitution, was put in place to stop the big money revolving door between the financial oligarchs in New York City and Washington, D.C. All appropriation bills had to have a separate line, a separate title, and clearly titled in the body what the money was going to go for. No omnibus spending bills. There was limits on infrastructure. There was also 1 6-year term for the president to stop the politics. There was also a way for states that can impeach federal officials. So there was a lot less central control. And of course, they embodied the entire Bill of Rights right in their Constitution again. So they were, the war of financial domination and ownership by the North had nothing to do with freeing the slaves. It was just if you really want to know why all slavery went away in the world, all across the world, why did it go away? It wasn't economically feasible anymore. Oh, they still have it. You know where the only place it's economically feasible is places where they don't have a lot of infrastructure for automation and stuff. In other words, you got to do things manually. So there's places in Africa and the Middle East that still got slavery. Now, the way they slave you now, the United States is the freaking big gulag prison capital of the world. They fine you for every freaking thing there is. Bloomberg will fine you for drinking a big gulp soda or using a plastic straw. California to get you for plastic bags. That's your slavery. New Jersey has $6,000 a year real estate tax for the size of a house that's the size of a shack. It's ridiculous. And a normal size house might be $30,000. Taxes. That's slavery. You're paying tribute as your serfs. That's why they don't want this really people to examine deep down what the South was trying to do. They're trying to break away from the financial tyrants, oligarchs of the North that own your ass. They wanted to bleed them dry with even more taxes. So that's the message they want quashed. So they tell you it was to free the black people. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't at all. It's a freaking other game. As a matter of fact, if you look at almost any of these black organizations today, they got some white guy, sometimes they're Jewish, a lot of times they're Jewish, running the show with the money. They're puppets on a string, including Farrakhan. He's a puppet. The puppet that makes trouble so they can freaking put in more controls. So they don't want this message out by me. They want to own me 100%. And I'm like, screw you. So I went off here pretty long. But I'm going to tell you, you're going to see some stuff with common sense angles on other freaking platforms, not in YouTube. YouTube is dead. It's gone. It's freaking finished. It's garbage. It's good for freaking posting some stuff that, you went to an event, you posted it. Here's a video on how to fix something. Here's a video on a herb. Or that's it. That's all it's good for. That's all it's good for. Nothing else. It's not good for fighting a freaking bullshit power because Alphabet Inc. is the bullshit power. It is. It's garbage. And you know what? If I saw California crack off and fall in the ocean, just the first 10 miles, especially by Tech Valley, I wouldn't care. I'd be like, that's good. The fish have to eat. Anyway, over and out.